Hello, everyone, and welcome to our second episode of the show. I'm your host with the most, Mr. Muhammad, Mr. M. Call me what you want, call me what you need. And a few things to address about the show. The name of the show is Proudcast. It's not specifically a podcast. Well, it is, but we call it Proudcast as it falls in line with our school vision, PROUD. And I think you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I've been reading the comments, I'm keeping an eye on all of that. So, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your parents, grandparents, whoever. And today's episode is going to be about charity. Now, a few new words for our younger and older audiences. The first of them is the word charity itself. Now, I think we all know what charity means. There's no need for me to define it and introduce it. Next on the list, we've got alms. An alm is specifically giving the money or giving money for those who are in need. And finally, there's going to be a tough one, considered a tongue twister, if you will. Philanthropy. Say it with me. Philanthropy. Now, philanthropy is the love of others or love of humanity. Any sort of act of charity, any sort of actness or kindness can be philanthropy. Now, in our local community, I could not find anyone better than our two guests here who have pioneered and who have contributed so much to our community. And I think they can introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Martin from grade 11.
Hi, I'm Have from grade 11.
Now, it's really lovely to have you two here on the show. And I'm sure you've had a lot of contributions, a lot of charity work and philanthropy as well. We were
Yes.
going to use that word a lot. Yes. A lot of charity work that you've done in our school. And I'm sure you've faced a lot of challenges doing so. And I'm sure you have had a lot of experiences, which we are more than happy to talk about and have it here on our show. Now, you can start us off.
Okay, so we've ran and raised a lot of fundraisers such as bake sales, donation boxes, activities, and donate to the ones who are in need.
Mm-hmm. And what about you,
We've-
Martin?
We've done a lot of sort of things where we can give to those who are less fortunate. You know, we have a lot ourselves to give to others. We're fortunate enough to give to those who are less fortunate. So we do everything we can do to help with those who are less fortunate, obviously.
Now, we've got a lot of forms of charity. It doesn't have to always be giving money. Sometimes there could be more than just that. For example, just like our two guests said, running a bakery and collecting goods for people. Now,
Yeah.
what have you guys done in our school in line with that?
Okay, we've done bake sales mostly because that's what we enjoy and that's what works with us best. And we also enjoy making the goods at home since they're all homemade. And we
Mhm.
bring it to school and sell it to the students in order to raise money.
Good job on advertising your own cooking and baking skills, Have. What about you, Martin?
We do donation boxes. We do charity activities. For example, we do activities where the students would like to join, and the money we collect, we donate to those who are in need. And bake sales as well, as Have said. We did a bake sale a few months ago, I think, like a month ago or so.
Since that you've said that you've run a lot of bake sales, how about you tell us more about that? How did you start? How was it like?
It was challenging, I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Our first ever bake sale didn't go too well, but it wasn't too bad.
And what kind of challenge have you faced?
Like students thinking like we've raised the money to keep it for ourselves.
Kind of beats the purpose of doing charity work in
Charity,
this
yeah.
case.
Yeah. But then it was like challenging to make them believe that it wasn't actually for us. And
Yeah.
like they saw our donation box and our tip box and they're like, oh, you guys are just keeping this tip box for yourselves. And then when they actually saw that we were buying things and like taking it to like the cancer hospital or refugee camps.
All right, we'll get to
Yeah.
that in a
Yeah.
little bit. But what
Yeah.
about you, Martin?
Students were sometimes being very stingy, trying to take things. You know, it was out of control a bit. We needed security. We had the security team, helped us a lot. They kept everything organized and kept everyone in place. So
No,
one's-
I can appreciate a little bit of haggling when you are buying for yourself, but then remember, like acts of charity, or if you're running a charity of sorts, you don't haggle for a price.
Yeah.
If something is for like 250 dinars, you don't ask for it to be for free.
Yeah, they would like literally go like, no, please, 500, discount. Like, our highest price was like 4,000 back then.
And what
Like-
was it? Like a Snickers bar for 4,000?
No, it was homemade.
No, it was
homemade
homemade goods like
goods, yeah.
tiramisu, cinnamon rolls, and all that. But
Right.
yeah,
Maybe you should start your own bakery, you two.
Maybe.
maybe one day.
One
Why
day.
not?
And 50% profit, and the other rest goes to charity.
All right,
Yeah.
25
We need to
discount for me. 25 discount for me.
Fine.
No.
So continue.
Yeah, students were just being stingy, but also students helped a lot. There was a lot of students who
Who would
give
like wouldn't buy anything,
and just would
pay,
donate,
like just donate.
which was helpful a lot. Shout out to those who were doing that. Thank you a lot.
Shout out to the young philanthropists we have,
Yes.
including our very own Haven Martin right here. Now, I'm sure that all this charity, all this philanthropic work, it has an impact on the local community that we've had. Otherwise, we wouldn't have done it in the first place. We're doing all of this to make a change. We're doing all of this to be the agents of change, hopefully for the better, of course. So, how does it feel to be, let's say, an instrument for a better change or for a better impact on the lives of those who are less fortunate?
Everyone can be an impact, of course, and it could help people not just feel better about their self-esteem, seeing that they're helping others, but also even the slightest bit could change someone's life. You never know. So it goes both ways. It's mutualist.
Like it's nice for them to feel like people are aware of what they're going through.
It's nice for people to be aware of what they are going through. Like, what do you mean by that?
Like it's nice, like let's say those patients or like those refugees that we're helping. Like they know that we're aware of what they're going through and what their situation is.
I see. So it's
You
like,
get it?
yeah, it's like you're doing this for the better of humanity, not just to feel good about ourselves.
Not
Yeah,
just
of
it's not
course.
just about
Yeah.
me, it's about them and mostly about them.
Exactly.
Everything
it's mostly
is
about
about
them. When you're doing an act of charity, you're not focusing on yourself. Oh, I'm doing this so I can feel better about myself.
Yeah,
No.
of course not.
Or people can view me in a better way. No.
Yeah.
It's mostly towards them and
No.
not me.
And in this case, we call it humble bragging, Now, what were some success stories and examples of positive change that you two have succeeded or achieved?
Talk about the cancer patient.
Okay, so we went to the cancer hospital and we saw this patient. She was actually, I think, one of the oldest ones there out of the teenagers. And she was like showing us around the hospital. And she saw how like we were a group of friends coming from a school to visit them. So she was like telling us, I really want to continue school once I'm done with chemo. And I want to be like you guys and continue my studies and everything, which was really like
Heartbreaking.
heartbreaking. But we tried to like not show it. We were like, you're going to do it and it's like, it's going to be okay. And then a few days or weeks, I could say after we've left the hospital, we tried to stay in contact with her or whoever like was close to her so they can tell us. They called us back and they were like, she's done with chemo and she's back at school.
Now,
We're very proud of her.
we are actually proud of you two for contributing into changing the life of that person.
Thank you.
Yeah.
At least to get her to go back to school in the smallest ways possible. Now, again, this act of charity is indescribably profound to inspire someone to become a little bit more than just what they are. After all, it is sort of our job to lead by example when it comes down to helping those who are less fortunate. And to highlight something you said, hey, we didn't want to show her that it was heartbreaking. We told her it's going to be all right. This
Yeah.
plays a big chunk when you're helping someone. You don't want to show them that it's all doom and gloom, but no, you want to show them
Because it's only going to make them feel worse about themselves.
It's not going to give them hope
Yeah.
into looking that there is a brighter side. You can always do better. You can always get better.
Exactly. Like you inspire someone in the most
Slightest
minute
bit.
degree possible to tell them like, hey, it's gonna be all right. There's no point in giving up now. There's a brighter tomorrow. And this in and of itself is an act of charity, is an act of kindness. Now, what about some charitable initiatives that made an impact, let's say, from your side?
Um, Obviously, it helped us a lot, you know, even like there was people with us who weren't feeling so good about themselves, where their confidence was lacking, their self-esteem, they felt like they weren't a good person. And after doing that, you know, they felt better about themselves. You know, I can help someone and I can be a change. Some people felt hopeless that there was no purpose for them in this world. And after doing that act of kindness,
You
they
change.
realized, you know, you can change something. Even with the slightest bit of help, you can change and make the better, you know?
Exactly. Like, I totally get what you're saying when you say you can be an
A
agent of
change
change,
to
or you can
someone,
be an
yeah.
instrument of change to
Change.
someone for the better. Obviously, we're not trying to make people's lives worse by doing charity.
Obviously
No,
not, of course.
we are trying to make the living conditions of people, or at least those who are less fortunate than us, better. Alleviate whatever hardship or difficulty, and make them feel that we are aware. And speaking of awareness, I want to tackle something,
Yes.
and that is all about innovations in charitable giving. So, back in time, at least that's what I assume because I haven't lived that long yet. Back in time, one of the few methods that you could become charitable or you could give charity to someone is by collecting money from your local community. But now, of course, we have innovations happening. We have technology, we have social media. And I think social media is one of the most powerful tools that we have at our disposal in order to raise awareness. And how has social media helped you in raising awareness of any kind about any sort of charity?
With the bake sale,
All right.
and like our donation boxes and fundraisers and everything, it wasn't that easy, but school had a big part in it where they like posted everywhere and had like this like they had like sent messages to like the parents, students, even the staff members that weren't aware. So we had a lot of things come in, and we tried our best to like send them out to people who are in need. So like the school helped us with the social media awareness.
Of course, any sort of like organization can spread out awareness, not on flyers and painting it on the
Yeah, of
wall.
course
We're kind
not.
of in the 21st
Yeah.
century now.
Yeah.
We're not so old fashioned. But in matters of using social media platforms, Martin, have you got something to say?
Yeah, on social media, you know, just not just us, but in general, social media can be a big help in influencing people to do better, to do charity. You know, celebrities, influencers, all those can post about it, and their fans would obviously, you know, jump in to help whatever
Jump
they're
in to help
supporting.
and then just spread it more and more.
Yeah,
Like someone will send it to you.
that's why social.
You'll send it to him. He'll send it to others.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And that's how it goes on.
That's why we are asking for likes, shares, and subscribes, guys.
Guys, like and subscribe.
Yes, please. Now, of course, technology has helped shape or reshape the landscape of charitable work. And of course, the social impact and social media in and of itself has made countless of opportunities for not just regular people, but celebrities as well, which brings us to our next point. The involvement of celebrity in philanthropy. How has that helped raise awareness about charity and so on?
Obviously, everyone knows what's going on in Gaza, Palestine. And a lot of influencers are posting about it, you know, spreading awareness. And there's protests going on because of those celebrities who posted about it. You know, like, people are aware of it, and it helps them, like, try to make a change for the better. And they protest so that the government could help people of
Especially
Gaza.
the celebrities can be like big influencers on like their fans.
Exactly, because celebrities wouldn't be celebrities had they not had a huge crowd
Yeah.
of fans and
Followers.
cheerleaders and followers. So
Yep.
these guys actually have the most amount of power, don't you think? Hey?
Yes.
These
Like,
guys have the most amount of power to raise
influence.
donations and influence as well, so that they can make a change for the better in people's lives or for those who are less fortunate if they post something on social
About it.
media about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think, Hey?
Obviously, celebrities and influencers can be a major part of making a change, even by doing the slightest bit. For example, posting it on social media or subscribing to a GoFundMe could influence their fans into doing the same.
So I'm sure that celebrity philanthropy is something of a major positive in our communities, whether local or international, because these guys have the most amount of influence, most amount of power. But sometimes it can pose a challenge for the average person, the average Joe as well, because the bar can be raised so far high that it can pose almost impossible for us to overcome. But what do you guys have to say about that?
No one should feel peer pressured to donate like the most amount, or they shouldn't like look at someone else and be like, "Oh, look how much they're donating." Just try donating to the best of your abilities. Like 50 cents will do. It'll change.
The slightest bit could change someone's life. You should always remember that.
So it's not about how much you donate, it's the intention behind it. And of course, intentions cannot always be with, let's say, uh, donating goods, but it can also be with volunteerism, which is our next point. Now, I've had a boatload of experience when it comes down to volunteering. I've worked on a suicide prevention hotline. I've worked with a lot of volunteer work. I've had almost 3 years of continuous experience volunteering while working with organizations and these local people. What have you guys have to say about that? About volunteering, let's say.
About volunteering, anyone can volunteer, honestly. It's just you have to have the intention of not doing things for yourself, but for others, for the sake of others and how you might change their life. Volunteering can help even with the slightest bit. If you donate something, that's counted as volunteering.
Exactly.
When we had our bake sale, I believe,
Yeah.
when we raised like a good amount of money, this was in 6th grade, our first bake sale. We raised like a good amount. And we were only, 12?
10, 9.
10? I don't know how old we were. But we,
Well, however old you were when
Yeah.
you were grade 6.
like raised a good amount. And the school was like, give us what you guys buy and we'll take it to the refugee camp. But then instead of like us letting them take it, we volunteered and we were like, no, we want to come.
Because we wanted to see the smiles on their face,
And like,
and for them to realize that it's not just one person who's realizing what they're going through, it's multiple people, and even the younger generation are aware of what's going on with them.
Of course. So this also like highlights the aspect of volunteering. It's not just doing one thing for the sake of doing it, but no,
Yeah.
you do one
like
thing.
if you're gonna do it properly. Like
Exactly.
Do it all.
If you're gonna do it properly. If you're gonna volunteer, you have to see it through and through.
Yeah.
You don't have to like send off the responsibility to someone else. No, because this is your own voluntary work. And it's not about, volunteering. It's not about the money, no. But it's about the charitable aspect behind it. Now, of course.
Mr. Mo, I have a question for you.
All right.
I would like for you to answer.
Ask.
How did you feel when you were doing the charity work or the volunteer work? For example, the suicide prevent hotline. How did you feel when you were helping people?
Well, it didn't really have to do much about how I felt, but I was focusing more on how the other person on the other line or the other end of the line
Yeah, of course. But
felt and was going through. Now, of course, you needed to be very careful with how you handle the situation. Otherwise,
It's a
someone's
sensitive
life
situation.
at risk.
exactly, or otherwise it's going to escalate into something more dangerous than what it already is. And I have to say, it was difficult. The responsibility was huge. However, of course, it's not something that you can take lightly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to be very careful how you interact, how you have to be very careful with what you say, the words you choose, and so on and so forth.
Mm.
Now, of course, there are plenty of opportunities in your local community that you can also get involved with. This is for the viewers and our audiences at home. You can always reach out to the local organizations in our community so that you can get involved with their own charitable and philanthropic work. Now, the next point that we would like to address are the challenges that we face in charitable work. Now, of course, I faced a lot of challenges while doing charity, mainly like getting people to contribute for the cause that you have. But of course, I'm sure you guys have
Many.
plenty to say about that part.
The most we struggled with, I'd have to say, is them calling us like
Liars.
liars, or like, you guys are thieves. You guys are taking the money. You guys aren't actually donating, or like they would just like steal from sides, and
Now, the next aspect I'd like to highlight also about charity work are the challenges that we face when we're doing philanthropic work or charitable work. Now, I've had plenty of challenges when doing all this charity, namely to get people on board so that they can also help you and contribute to the cause. But I'm sure you guys have something to say about that sector, that part.
We have many to say.
The most thing I could say that we struggled with was when they would tell us like, "Oh, you guys are not actually donating. You guys are just taking the money for yourselves," or they would like just steal from like the sides, just like whatever. Like if no one's aware, they'd just take because they thought we were lying.
I kind of understand where they're coming from to accuse us of lying. Obviously, they've seen things before, they've heard things, and it's very hard to trust someone with giving them money, expecting them to give it to those who are less fortunate, and for it not to be given to them, if it's just a lie.
Of course, nothing comes from nothing. Something has to be there because of something. And
Yeah.
just like you said, Martin, the audience or the people participating in charitable work have seen some things in the past that made them believe or led them to believe that this isn't actually true. It's like a fraudulent work. But how do you overcome such challenges?
Obviously, you have to have you have to have thick skin to be ordered to do some of these works. You could get called many things. We've been called many things. Liars, scammers,
You
cheaters.
just have to understand their point of view. Like how are they supposed to trust us that their money is actually going to charity?
But at the end of the day, you know yourself. You know that at the end of the day, the money, whatever it's being donated, is going to the person who is in need, and you're not keeping it for yourself.
Of course, it falls down to like your actual intention when
Yeah.
Of
you're
course.
doing the charitable work. For our own case, when we're doing the bake sale.
And we
Yes.
had
Yeah.
a poster saying 100%
Non-profit.
no non-profit.
Yeah, 100% no
100%
profit.
No profit, and like 100% donation and no profit.
And we named the organization we were gonna donate to, so they knew, and they thought it was a fake organization we made up. So guys, it was not a fake organization. The money will be donated during the month of Ramadan. We're going to donate to those who are in need, those who are fasting. We'll donate for iftar.
Of course. Now, since Ramadan is coming up really, really close,
month.
really, really soon, this episode is actually a special episode thanks to Ramadan coming up.
Yes.
Now, going back, how do you become transparent to the people donating that their money or their donations are not going in someone else's pocket or, in this case, going to waste, if you will?
Of course, it's very hard to gain someone's trust who you've just met or you've given something to with no prior, talking or without prior knowledge of them. But the school obviously posts on social media the things we do, the things we give away. And I'm sure they're going to post the Ramadan, what we do for Ramadan. And I hope you guys see it and you guys trust us for the next fundraiser.
Upcoming bake sales.
Upcoming bake
Alright.
sale.
Any-
There
any
will be
specific
one
dates?
coming.
There will
We
be one
can't
coming
say.
soon.
Oh,
When.
okay.
We can't say.
They are literally cooking and baking something for us, guys.
Yes, guys.
We can't wait. Now, how would you like to extend an invitation to our audiences? You can tell them right now how they can get involved in the upcoming charity bake sale.
Honestly, just trust us and donate.
If you
And
can.
yeah.
And obviously, you can be a part of the donation as well if you want to help or if you want to do a
Volunteer.
fundraiser, volunteer with what we are doing. We would love to have you guys volunteer with us. It'd help a lot. Even if you don't want to participate, you can just donate the money to those who are in need. And we will make sure to send you guys pictures of what we donate so you guys know where your money is going.
Now, as much as we would love to continue how our episode is going, we have reached the end of the line for today. Now, this goes out for the audience. In spirits to the upcoming holy month of Ramadan, remember, Any act of kindness is an act of charity. And what is charity but the highest form of virtue? Charity can be so much more than money given to the less fortunate. It can be something as small as a smile to your brothers and sisters, the love you give to your friends and family, and the kindness you share with your community. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share. And we have been proud.